What's going on, guys? This is your boy Random Guy Kev, and this is Thoughts of a Random Guy. We talk about many things dealing with love, dating, relationships, adulting, life's ups and downs, and the ever evolving world of just being a human. Don't forget to check me out on all your favorite social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Today's topic is finding friends at my big age. And my co-host for this episode is
Christopher Hoyt.
Thank you, Chris, for joining me again. So let's talk about this. Like, as you get older, and I feel like we briefly touched on this on a previous episode, as you get older, it's just harder to find friends and maintain those friendships and those different dynamics. Because now you're not in high school, you're not in college anymore. And it's like you want to find people that match you, essentially. And sometimes you want to find people that bring out the best in you and you bring out the best in them. But, sometimes people just settle for whatever. And this is a whole nother topic on reciprocation because not a lot of friendships are reciprocated either. So it's like, how do I go about finding friends as I get older? And me personally, I don't care. If people fall into my life, they fall in. It's kind of like, you just fall into different hobbies or you do something different and people just fall into your life and it's just like, damn, we're friends now. Fuck. This happened.
I think that when you are sort of I think that like friends are one of those things that it's dependent on how you grow. I've had a lot of friends in my life depending on where I was living, and I've had a lot of friends in my life depending on what I was doing professionally at that time. I know that when you and I met, it was like I was working for a company and I had a lot to offer in sort of like things that I could physically provide for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of people that opted to be friends in high quotations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as you grow, you kind of learn what kind of person you are. And I think it's harder as you grow to like maintain friendships because as you grow in any relationship, you either grow closer or you grow apart from certain people. And I think that, that's something that a lot of people don't acknowledge.
Mm.
And I think that, like I've had the same best friend since I was, 17. And we talk every day.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gone from living, hundreds and hundreds of miles apart to he lives not even 5 miles away from where I am at right now. And we don't see each other ever, or we'll see each other every day. We go through ebbs and flows and swings and things like that. But I think that the difference between the relationship that I have with him and like a lot of other people is that he and I both grew together, and we grew sometimes apart, we grew sometimes together, but the main focus was like, how do we keep this friendship flowing? And it's like constant communication. How do you have that conversation? How do you go into a relationship with somebody else being like, hey, I'm here for constant conversation. I'm here for a communication of all levels, and I'm here because my growth has taken me here, without sounding like a fucking crazy person. And I think you run the risk whenever you start a new relationship later on in your life as being disingenuous because you're not putting yourself 100% forward in each meeting that you have. And I think that's that's definitely my own bias, but I do think that there,
You're saying like essentially you don't put enough value into you.
No, I'm saying that like the value that you've already instilled in yourself when you go to build solid relationships in your adult life, you're asking other people to see and recognize that same value.
Mm.
You know, and I think that is where a lot of trouble comes about, because you're saying, like, I hear what you said. Like, I've known you for a while, and I've heard you say this, and I've heard you explain it too. Is I wouldn't say that you're necessarily somebody that thinks very highly of themselves, but I would think you're necessarily somebody who has a lot of confidence in what they do, and knows when they don't like the way that they're being spoken to. I would say that aptly describes who you, Kevin, are as a person.
Yeah.
And I would say that you have enough respect for yourself to not be 100%. You to not be 100% in any interaction you have with anybody. So
Yeah, I remove myself from those type of conversations. Like if I'm dealing with somebody and they feel like they could, and we're friends. If we're supposed to be friends, you're not going to talk to me any type of way.
yeah,
There's a respect level. Like there's borderline of what you can and can't say, and I feel like with certain friends, they know, okay, I can say this to Kevin, but I know I can't say this to Kevin, and it's like, yeah, you play your role in this whole friendship dynamic.
yeah,
We're either that comfortable or we're not comfortable, and it's like certain friends will come to me and be like, Kev, I want the real. And I tell them straight up where it is. Whereas like other people, I can't do that. I can't have that same energy with them because that's not our friendship dynamic.
yeah. I think that, like, if you go through a friendship and you don't have disagreement or struggle, then it's not a real friendship.
And I feel like all friendships have that.
Yeah.
And it only makes you guys stronger if you're able to get past it and able to communicate. Because I mean, I've had that with like super close friends that I've grown up with, and then we just come back to the table. We love each other and keep it moving.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like, some people, you get into those arguments with those friends, and it's like, oh yeah, we can't recover from this. We're never friends again. But it depends on how they cross, the line in that friendship. But as you get older, it's like hard finding friends, but do you keep the friends that you have even if you're going through issues with them?
Mm-hmm.
And some people rather keep the friends that they have even if that person is toxic as fuck in their life. They keep them around because it's hard to find new friends that bring some type of value to your life.
Yeah. I mean, I think it ultimately, it comes down to the point of just like, you need to recognize when you're going out to meet friends is like, you're looking for quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like if you make it to the finish line with 1,000 people at your back and on your side, that feels like maybe that's 1,000 relationships that are not as strong as they could be.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you make it to the finish line and you've got like, enough people to remember your name for the few years that they have left,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a life well lived, And it's like, like I think when a lot of people build those relationships where it's like fair weather friends or just like a friend when I need them kind of thing, I think that that's hard because you think about it, in a sense of like, that's a very lonely existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So a question for you: Do new friends even matter at this point?
Yes. That's the thing, is like, that's the other part of it though, is that like, you shouldn't close yourself to new experiences and you shouldn't close yourself to new people. But like, should you be going out and like looking? I feel like they always do that thing where it's like they say like, oh, like, you find a partner when you're never looking for it, right? And I kind of think that that's bullshit. If you want to find romantic partners in your life, go looking for it. Like, don't fucking like, don't limit yourself if you don't want to limit yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that like, friends are different. It's one of those things that like, you should be open to, like, if you want to be more social, go out, go do something. You know what I mean?
To find new friends, you have to be social.
Exactly.
You have to be willing to put yourself out. You gotta go experience shit, because you'll probably meet one of your bestest friends just going out to like a paint and sip, or going to the hardware store, and like you see somebody doing something, you're just like, yo, like, what are your thoughts on this? It's like, start a random ass conversation, and somehow you guys exchange numbers, and you guys are meeting every fucking Saturday to go do shit.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's like, I think, I think that, like, closing yourself off to that is like too much, and I think that, like, going out and being like, I'm gonna be friends with everybody that I meet, I think that's just like,
you give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and you be as friendly as possible, and you never know, it's like, throwing shit at the wall.
Yeah.
Something's gonna hit.
Yeah. I met this, we were on vacation, and I met this bar manager at this restaurant that, like, we had kept walking past, and I was always like, I want to go in there, but whatever. And I go and I meet this guy, and, like, great dude. And we text. We, like, he lives, it's like, we go vacation, like 40 minutes from here. He lives 40 minutes away, and it's like, like, was I walking in there and being like, hey, everybody, I'm looking for a friend? No. But, like, is it cool that I met this dude and we connected on the fact that, like, got a lot in common, and now we're talking, and we're talking about, like, hanging out and all that stuff. That's cool. That's I think that's organic. I think that's natural.
Hey, everybody, I'm looking for a friend. Who wants to be my friend?
Yeah,
take my number down.
That's weird. It's just like,
I mean, I'm pretty sure, people back in the day used to do that on Craigslist.
I don't know if they were looking for friends.
Yeah, I don't think they were looking for friends either. I think it was a
different kind of friend, but,
No, but there's a lot of people that are super lonely out here as they get older, and having a core group of friends, I think that's always solid. But now, like, people turn that into a job where they get paid for it, where it's like, it's kind of like it's like, what's it called? It's kind of like being an escort essentially, but you're just being friends and hanging out with somebody, and they pay you for your time. That's a real, bro. It's a real thing.
Cool. I mean, like, on one hand, I'm like, that's crazy, but also that's kind of cool.
It's a real thing. It's just crazy.
I think though that, like, if you think about it, you think about, like, the people that are lonely and, like, looking for those friends and looking for that connection. I think that, we had talked about in like a previous episode, we had talked about, like, these advice givers and these people that are, like, honing in on people who are lonely and aimless and looking for that kind of connection with people. I think that like, that's the part where, like, I get lost in the conversation, because I'm just like, how do we societally, like, provide that communal space for those types of people? And it's hard because you don't know, and sometimes you feel guilty because you're like, well, I'm over here having a good time with my friends because I'm not, like, having trouble with it. But it's like, you know what, like, I'll be honest, I spend a lot of my time alone, through preference and stuff like that. Like, I choose to, like, just be me and mine, and but at the same time, like, if I decide that I want to strike up some new friends, I do kind of, you got to wonder, like, where do I go and do that? And you got to imagine that a lot of these people, like, it's not a skill that you're actively being taught in school. You don't have a friendship or relationship class in school.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things that, like, how do you do that? How do you?
But, like, what you said is, like, you're okay with being alone.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do not. That's a whole nother topic that we have to go through. Like, people are afraid of being alone, but it's like, hey, I'm okay with being alone, but I also know I have a support system. I know I have people I can go to, I can rely on, but I'm not that person to be like, oh my God, I need people around me. I need friends. I need this. I need that. It's like, no, I'm okay with being alone. Having those other things are just an addition to bettering my life. or adding people to my personal space. And that's the thing, we're like, we got to be mindful of who we add to our personal space, because you can't just add anybody. Yes, you guys got some things in common, but it's just like, not everything is good about people. Sometimes people have bad intentions. It may seem good at first, but sometimes people have bad intentions. Some people just want to hurt you. Even the people known the longest want to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't never want to see good for you sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes the newer people are better than the people you've known for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So again, like, do new friends even matter at this point when you get bigger? That's when you get bigger. When you get older, yes and no. I mean, it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. Depending on how you look at it, and depending how these people add themselves to your life. What value are they adding to your life, and what value are you adding to theirs?
Yeah. Like I said, it's all about growing closer or growing apart, but it's growing in the end. So
yeah, and I mean, I have friends that I haven't talked to in years, but like one of my best friends, like I haven't talked to. He moved to LA. I have a couple friends in LA, but like one of my other best friends, he lives in LA, and he was doing some stuff out there, and like, it was kind of always me hitting him up just to make sure he's good and shit like that. Have conversations. When I hit up LA, I'd be like, yo, you good? All right, cool. And we kind of just, that was our communication.
Yeah.
And like just a couple weeks ago, he hit me up like, yo, just checking on you. Just want to make sure everything's good. Yo, bro, I'm good. Everything is great. Great hearing from you. Hope everything's good. Like, hope you're famous now. Like, doing big things, because he was working on a music career type thing. Like, hope you're doing big things. Like, and it's the same. It was the same love and energy. So it's like, yeah, coming back to value of a friendship. Like, you can't value every friendship. Not everybody's your friend. Not everybody sees it the same way, and it takes effort on both ends to maintain that friendship as you get older. Because you're in school, you see this person every fucking day, so it's like, all right, cool. But now as you get older, you guys are doing your own things. It's like, now we got to schedule time.
Yeah, and that's hard. So like,
yeah. I mean, have you ever had a recent experience of you just meeting someone and it's just like all of a sudden, like, fuck, like we're talking regularly, like we're linking up regularly?
No, but I do think that I have some of those in the works.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I think instant conversation. I mean, like, I don't know what it is. I moved to Boston like 5 years ago now, coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta be honest, it's just like everybody out on this side of the country, they just feel busier. Everybody out here, I know it's like also like an age thing, but I think also it's just like everybody is just busier all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, I used to have a bunch of friends that worked in the service industry, and it was like you'd see them at work physically, like constantly. And I think now, like, I'm more like, I'm going to do me, and I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to say, hey, what's up? What's going on? And then finally, we'll be like, hey, do you want to hang out? I think like, I know it's weird. I've been getting really close with my neighbors.
Listen, that be it though.
It is. It kind of, there was like a little bit. My partner is like longtime friends, and that kind of like greased the wheels a little bit. But there was like a little bit of drama that had happened, and it kind of like spilled into our like little neighbor situation. And I was like, I had like fucked up, because somebody else was was doing a little too much, and I kind of, you know, didn't check facts, and I like went back and we talked, and they were like, no, we were bummed that you thought that we were not like supportive of you. We're bummed that you felt that way, and I was just like, I was like, oh shit, like you guys are like really good friends. Like I was like, I fucked up, but it's funny because like I kind of was like, I didn't expect this kind of relationship to come from people like
that's the thing. It's like,
living right next door. So yeah,
yeah, and that's how I felt like meeting my neighbors. I'm like, yo, y'all fucking cool. Like I you know, when I first got my house, they I don't consider us friends or anything. Like we're acquaintances. I don't consider everybody a friend. That's just wild. But like, you know, when I got the house, you know, I went around, you know, like putting notes in people's mailboxes, you know, hey, a new neighbor, blah blah blah, a little bit of information. They came through, gave me a wine bottle, chatted it up, and then, you know, kept it moving. And you know, I dropped off probably like a year later. I dropped off kind of like on my anniversary, essentially, of getting this house. I dropped off a wine bottle, say, hey, thank you for everything. Here you go, boom. And she's like, hey, maybe we could drink this sometimes. Like, come over. Bro, I went over their house. I was over their house like 3 weekends in a row. We was just sitting there drinking. They were singing karaoke.
I think
playing board games.
I remember seeing like on your Instagram story, it was like they're about to see like 3 drink Kevin. Like they've had neighbor Kevin. They're about to get party Kevin. Party Kevin's gonna mind his business until it's time not to. And I was like, oh my god, I've seen that Kevin. I've been with that Kevin.
They gonna learn real quick what kind of Kevin I'm in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being nice. I'm you know, I'll show them the nice Kevin right now. Just so they get locked in and used to it, and it's just like, yeah, we love you, Kevin. And then it's like, all right.
Calm down.
All right, let's turn this bitch up. Let's turn this bitch up a little bit. We drinking? Oh, all right.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a good time. They're good peoples. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like finding good people in just random ass conversations.
Yeah.
Random ass conversations.
I'm gonna say it. This is kind of like thinking about, you know, party Kevin and like my neighbors and things like that.
Yeah.
Is that I will say that as an adult, where I do find like some of the better relationships in my life, this is toxic as shit, but it has been through drinking. Like, I know that's the worst, but it's like, for me, you know, my big thing is like, I come from a background of like, you know, I have some alcoholics in my family where it's been real severe and it's been real bad. Like, and you know, for me, I've always been like, you know, I don't like to drink a whole lot in front of people that I don't know, and like, definitely as I've gotten older, like, you asked me 5 years ago, like, I'll show you some drinking, but you know, now it's like I don't do it because I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable about the idea of being judged, right?
Yeah.
And then like, I'll meet somebody, like, you know, in the instance of like meeting this guy that worked at the bar, we got a little drunk and we were on vacation. We got a little drunk and I was like, fuck it, I don't care, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he like texted me, like, he was like, hey, like, you know, like, let's exchange numbers. So I was like, all right, cool. And he texted me like as soon as he was like, genuinely, like, you guys were the coolest fucking people I've met all summer. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we can't wait to chill. Like, and he was just like, you just seem so relaxed. And I was like, yeah, because it's just like, it's not so much about like easing up while you're drinking, but it's more the fact that I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna relax in general. And if I happen to have a couple drinks, like, like, that's it. Every time I relax, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll take a sip. Like,
I'll take a little sip.
I'll do something here. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so you know,
I mean,
yeah.
finding friends as you get older, and like even on vacation, that's when you meet some really cool people.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
you meet some really cool people to, you know. Shit, I definitely, yeah. Let's just change numbers. Maybe we'll figure shit out. We'll figure shit out in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and take it there. But as we come to a close for this episode, what would you like to leave people with on finding friends as you get older?
I mean, you know, just be. It sounds corny, but be yourself. Be comfortable with yourself, and you know, just do what's. Get a hobby.
For real. Get a hobby.
Get a hobby.
And you'll find
You'll
people.
find them. You find people you don't want to find. Like,
for real. And that's the one thing about finding people when it comes to friendships. When you're not looking, them motherfuckers just pop up, and you just start having conversations like, "Damn, now we're in a 3-year friendship," and it's like, "Fuck, how did we get here?"
Yeah. How long have I known you? For what?
yeah. So. That's the crazy part. But that's it for this episode. You guys can find me on all social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Don't forget to check in, and I will catch you guys on the next one.